everybody, welcome back to my Daily Dose with Tim. Today is Season 2, Episode 9. As you know, today is part of a general topic or a bigger topic that we've been going over the whole week so far. So, the whole concept this week is to really help a lot of people understand why we would actually choose to leverage real estate as our main vehicle for investing. And if you remember, over the last few days now, we've covered 3 parts already. So part 1, we spoke about control, yes, with 1 L. I know. Give me a break, okay? ESL. English is not my first language. Part 2 is leverage. And part 3, as we spoke about, is the tax benefits that will come with that as well. Today, we're going to go into part 4, which is cash flow, or some people like to call it higher cash yield compared to the majority of investment vehicles out there. So commonly, real estate really is directly compared to stocks and mutual funds or any sort of retirement funds or savings plans or even precious metals, okay? And I mean, stocks really falls under business as well, which is really one of the main asset categories that a lot of people buy into. Now, the reason why we like real estate is because when done right, when you understand actually how to pick the right strategies and then the right market, you can actually create good cash flow. After all, cash flow is king. Okay, not cash is king, cash flow is king. Because yesterday we also spoke about the fact that equity is awesome. If you put money in a great vehicle and it's growing in value, that's great. However, if it's not spitting out cash all the time, well, maybe not all the time, however, at least on a monthly basis, then really it's kind of like having a piggy bank there that you're not able to open. And sometimes it's just like, ugh, because why do we invest a lot of the times is that we want to be able to not just wait for 10, 20, 30 years for that wealth that we've built up. Right now, we kind of want to live a better lifestyle as well, don't we? And real estate actually has the power and is the perfect vehicle to help us achieve that. And so right here, I want to really give you guys a bit of an idea. And I think a lot of you guys are familiar with this graph now because I've done this a few times. And honestly, though, to me, this is probably one of, if not the best mindset pieces or even just investing foundation or really something to hold you accountable to why you actually want to invest in real estate. Because regardless of whatever vehicle that you choose, at the end of the day, it does still take a little bit of knowledge, experience, and discipline, most importantly. However, mindset is what really generates all that, okay? What you think becomes your action. And so, remember, when we're talking about mindset, we're talking about poor mindset. Not poor people, poor mindset. And usually what happens here is this is your income, this is your expenses, this is your asset column, and this is your liability column, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is this. We don't wanna slip into a poor mindset, obviously, because we're here to learn how to get rich and create wealth. So poor is when you have money coming in and you basically spend every last penny in your expense column. By the way, your expense column actually includes any sort of savings account that you're putting towards, any sort of mutual funds you're putting towards, anything that you don't really have a lot of control over and that gets regularly deducted from your paycheck, okay? Other than any sort of government pension stuff or maybe employment insurance, that kind of stuff that gets automatically taken off. However, this part is when you actually have expenses and money in, money straight out the door, and you're not really keeping much, okay? I know some of you have this inclination to argue with me that, well, I'm savings, how is that not putting money away? However, this is a completely different mindset because what happens now is most of us really fall under the middle class mindset. We're actually very fortunate if we even have the middle class mindset, to be really honest, because what we're taught growing up is study hard, get a good job so you get a good income, because with good income, for most of us, we learn how to get ourselves into debt. So we'll buy houses, we'll buy cars, sometimes we even buy electronics on credit, or virtually everything else on credit. So we incur liabilities, and then as a result, when the money comes in every single month, it goes towards debt servicing as well. So middle class, slightly better because we're kind of leveraging. This is liability, by the way. Okay, some people are going, well, isn't that leverage? Isn't leverage good? Because that's also something that we spoke about when it comes to investing on, I think, part 1, I believe, or part 2. Don't remember now. We'll have to probably go back and rewatch some of the videos. However, the point is, this is your liability. And so with liabilities, there usually comes with a monthly payment, and therefore your paycheck goes towards debt servicing that. Now, the biggest thing about this though is we're all here to develop a wealthy mindset so that we not only create income right now, or additional streams of income right now to help us live a better life that we want to, but also making sure that we secure our entire financial well-being and our financial future that can potentially even be left behind to our children, to our children's children as our legacy as well. And real estate has the power to do just that. And so the idea really is, if you have money coming in, you're going to invest into assets. Okay, and then that asset should be spitting out cash, so another form of income. So by definition, the more assets you invest in, the more streams of income you're creating for yourselves. And if you remember from the first week in season 2 as well, and even going all the way back to season 1, we already talked about the fact that this is ultimately about creating multiple streams of income, because therein lies the security that we are all looking for. For anybody to depend on just one source of income, honestly, these days, I'm going to even venture to say that for anybody who even just depends on 1, 2, or even 3 sources of income in any household, that's already putting yourselves at risk of any sort of turbulences that might happen to you financially. So this is why invest in your assets, and we already covered this as well. Who is your biggest income generating asset? We are. Really think about that. It's not real estate, it's not business, it's not stocks, it's nothing else. It's not something, it's someone. More importantly, that someone is you. Because at the end of the day, even if you lost your job, however, with the skills and the knowledge that you've accumulated, you can go out there and get yourself another job. However, you don't even have to get yourself another job if you learn how to create multiple income streams from, let's say, even just investing in real estate. You can invest in a lot of different things, and you can play with a lot of other instruments and vehicles. We're going to focus on real estate here, okay? And then that asset will spit out the income that you need, and then you will use that income to debt service your lifestyle. So this is where you still go and buy your houses, buy your cars. You might be able to buy nicer cars. You don't have to. Again, we talked about the concept between being cheap versus being frugal. Honestly though, most well-off people, at least even the ones that I've personally known and met over the years, honestly, you would not be able to tell that they're multi-gazillionaires. So that's the thing, because they understand it at a certain point, it's not even about money anymore. It's just having that financial knowledge and education to really learn how money works and how it serves you and help you achieve the goals and the dreams and realize the visions that you have in life and live the life you truly want and deserve for you and your family. That's what it's ultimately about. However, that being said though, I mean, this is where you actually get to go out there and do something with the wealth and the money and the income streams that you've created, because your asset is actually debt servicing all that. And so here's the thing. Before we decide to buy a new piece of furniture, before we decide to build a new house for ourselves to live in, remember, the house that you live in, most of the times for most people, it's basically a liability, not an asset. And for me, I can definitely tell you it is a liability, because I'm one of those people who do not enjoy having somebody else renting from us, so to speak. So we're not bringing mortgage helpers or anything. If I want people to come and live with us, they can come live with us, but that's only because I like them in the first place. It's not because I need the money. And that's the idea. And if you want to buy a nice car for yourself, a nice purse, a nice piece of jewelry for somebody in your family, for your spouse, for your significant others, do that. So where I'm going with that is, for a while here, some of you guys didn't know this. Actually, most of you guys don't know this because I almost forgot about this until I was talking about sharing a little bit of my background story with some people the other night. Is for a while there, when we first started investing in real estate, instead of Ray and myself buying each other presents, we decided that for anniversaries, for each other's birthdays, for Valentine's Days, for Christmas, we would actually, instead of buying presents, we would just accumulate money, raise funds, and buy property, okay? Buy income generating, cash flowing properties. And so for the first few years, we actually did that. That's actually what also motivated us, because what we decided is that, you know what? If we buy a piece of property that is going to spit out $200 to $1,200 a month on average, then each property will serve a different purpose. So for example, we like to travel. So funny enough, when we buy each other presents, a lot of times it's not actually materialistic things. It's actually, let's go to Europe, let's go to Asia, let's go somewhere for even a weekend or for 3 weeks, for a month, and it's going to cost X amount of dollars. And as a result, let's just say that if we're going away for a 2 weeks trip, usually we budget for about $2,000 a day. So that's about almost $30,000 between hotels and lodging, hotels and flight, and whatever it is that we want to do, whatever it is we want to eat when we're there. And so our average budget is about $2,000 on a daily basis, all included. And so what we will do then in that case is, for $30,000 a vacation, then we would definitely look for 1 or 2 properties sometimes that will basically spit that out in cash flow. However, what that's doing now is that instead of spending that $30,000 cash or hard-earned money, we're basically using cash flow to give us that lifestyle that we want. And so our original savings or cash amount that we've accumulated or raised from other investors get put into good use. And as a result, it continues to pay for our toys, continues to pay for our lifestyle. And if it's in a right market, in a good market, mortgages getting paid down by our tenants or tenant buyers, and market's going up, and we also create that equity lift in between as well. That will allow us to refinance, pull out the equity, and reinvest and scale a little bit faster too. So that's all things that we've already discussed in the last couple of days as well. However, I just really want to sort of bring it home there. Even though we're just talking about cash flow, a lot of these concepts are really interlinked. They're all connected together, as you probably have guessed already. And this is why this is so important, and why invest in real estate is the fact that you have actually a lot of control. Going back to the very first part 1, which is, I believe, episode 6 this season, to cover this entire concept. So today, even though it's not a full wrap up, it kind of ties a lot of ideas together, especially with this chart that I know a lot of you guys like. And honestly, like I said, this is probably one of my favorite charts, if not my favorite graph to draw for you, because it really, really solidifies A, why invest in real estate and why choose it as a vehicle, and B, really solidify that mindset. Because don't get me wrong, we get tempted, sometimes when we go out there, we see a nice new car, maybe you want to get that. We might want to build a new house for ourselves. Maybe you want to go on vacation, especially the moment COVID gets lifted, right? And so we still get tempted. However, we just need to keep reminding ourselves, you know what? There are better ways. I'm never going to tell you if there's right or wrong way to do something unless it's purely illegal. However, there are always better, more efficient, more effective ways to reach what you want in life without having to sacrifice your hard-earned money, or without having to sacrifice your financial well-being for a long, long time for you to get that. So this is something that I wanted to share with you today, part 4 of why invest in real estate, which is the ability to create and even increase and predict good cash flow, as long as you pick the right strategies in the right market for you. So That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me again. I love your comments. I love your feedback. I'm getting a lot of messages again now for season 2. I think last week when I first started back again, there was not a whole lot of engagement yet until about midway through last week. However, this week, you guys have been super supportive. So I thank you once again, and I'm so happy that you're getting something out of this. And if you are, make sure you make sure you also share the episodes with the people in your life that you think could really benefit from some of the mindset adjustments. And like I said, this whole season is about giving you the mindset, giving you the opportunity to really examine your relationship with money, giving you the chance to learn a little bit more about the strategies and how you analyze deals, how you look at deals, because that is all coming up, okay? And I'm also giving you homework, as you know from last week. So tomorrow, there's gonna be a second piece of homework coming down. So stay tuned. I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great evening, everybody. Live well.